Hey everyone, it's Elsie here. Hope you're all well. I have something a little different for you today. I'm making my, well, not my first mini album, but my first mini album that I'm filming. Let me just quickly explain what I'm doing. So, I pulled some envelopes out to use as the base for my album. And then I'm making an accordion fold, I guess, to bind it all together. So what I'm doing is that I'm marking half an inch along a strip of paper and scoring it lightly so I can fold it over like an accordion. Um, the envelopes. I am definitely not a mini album maker, but this just kind of took the thought out of it in a way, because all the it meant that all the pages were the same size. I didn't have to do any extra cutting and trimming and that kind of stuff, and yeah, it meant that I had pockets if I wanted to use them in my album. So there are many different ways which you can kind of assemble an envelope mini album, but I chose this way just to keep it simple, really. So I'm just trimming off the little envelope flap bits, and yeah, just making sure all the pages are the same size, and then getting my little accordion fan thing, and I'm taping one sort of fold, or yeah, one sort of strip of oh gosh, the accordion fold, and then yeah, just alternating it, doing every other one, and then I'm going to attach the envelopes onto each sort of fold like that. Yeah, so it's really simple, and yeah, I think if I was doing this again, I would make the folds slightly bigger, maybe like 3/4 of an inch, only because I went quite chunky with this album. It was quite dimensional. So you can leave it like that, but I wanted it more like sort of like a book, like closed. So I did the same thing, put adhesive on the side where the paper was attached, the envelope was attached, and yeah, just struggled with my double-sided tape and then folded it all in together. As I went along, I sort of pressed down just to make sure that everything was, stuck quite well. I'm also not using any special double-sided tape, I'm just using normal double-sided tape from Hobbycraft. So yeah, I wanted to make a little sort of cover for the album, and I wanted to make it more like a book rather than just like sort of sticking a piece of paper on the front, although that would have looked nice. I just wanted it to make it a bit more like sort of sturdy. So I grabbed sort of some thicker piece of cardboard that I got in some packaging and cut it slightly bigger than my slightly bigger than the envelopes. And then I needed an extra bit of paper just to adhere the cover. So I just did another couple of folds and then just attached it, the cover that way. So my envelope size is really odd. It's like I just cut everything 4x6 and then like trimmed it down when I needed it to, which was most of the time actually. That was a silly thing to say, but yeah, it was like 5 3/4 by 2.5 or 3.5 or something random. I don't know what size envelope that is. I just found these in a drawer and decided to use them. So yeah, I am also using my Emmeline kit from Felicity Jane, and yeah, this is quite something. I absolutely love this kit. It's just beautiful and sort of cozy feeling and very, very pretty. Yeah, it's just my kind of thing. So for the cover, I kept it really, really, really simple. I used that wood grain paper, just because, I mean, I love a good wood grain paper, but also it just, I don't know, it was just so clean and sort of autumnal looking, I guess, and as you can see from the title, this album's kind of like a mini album. It is a mini album. It's like a Halloween themed mini album, and yeah, I just decided to keep the cover very, very simple. So I just added some of the puffy thickers from the kit and a little wooden heart. So yeah, I kept it simple as well because I knew I wanted to sort of go a bit crazy inside, and I wanted to go a bit crazy, and I don't know, I like the look of how simple the cover is, but then you can sort of see sort of bits poking out, I guess, of the album. So it's just like, oh, what's this? And then it's just like lots of goodies lie within, which is kind of like what I was going for. So yeah, one thing I absolutely love about these kits is the cut apart sheet we get in the paper pack. And in this one we got like a few labels, and like that happy word came from that. We get loads of like tiny word sticker things, and they're all backed on sticker stock, by the way. And it's like basically each kit you get like some die cuts in a way. So yeah, it's just fun to play around with those, and they're all the colours of the kit, so they match perfectly. And yeah, I think the first page is always the hardest, but I kept the first page pretty simple, just adding those tiny word things, and I really need to get a new stapler. That one is great, but it's because it holds small staples, but it forgets to staple half the time. Like halfway through stapling, it's just like, I've forgotten how to staple, and then it just kind of goes blah. That's like the only way I can describe it. So yeah, probably need to invest in a tiny attacher, but it's just like, I don't know, around £15 for a stapler, and I'm just like, oh, but that's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? So yeah, as I said, I struggled with this page, and it doesn't end up looking like that. But yeah, I just kept it. Yeah, as you can see there, I think I turned the camera off, and yeah, I added a strip of grey paper to the back, and then sort of cut the pocket in a weird way. I'll show you in the flip through. So these little ghosts and witches hats are cut files from the Felicity Jane cut file shop, and they're adorable. I absolutely love them. They're technically straw toppers, but yeah, I'm not using them for straw toppers. So I know I promised a couple of videos ago that I'd have a tutorial on how I download or I use cut files without a silhouette, like, you know, you can see what I'm doing here, just to get the images off and so I can trace them, that kind of thing. And I will be doing that. It's on my to-do list next week. I just need to figure out the technology to show you. I'm boring technical things like that, which goes into video making. So yeah, I'm going to stitch these hats, and yeah, I'm not going to show you that on camera because that's kind of boring. Also, I've had a few questions about stitching on how I do my stitching, and I do have a video for that. So I'll link that below and in the cards bit at the top right corner of the video. Yeah, so that's kind of how I stitch on scrapbook leggings, and that's just basically the same thing that I do on little things like my paper piecing things. Although this isn't really paper piecing just because I used a piece of paper for each one of these, but anyway, so yeah, oh, that paper, I absolutely love that paper with all the scallops, like strips on it. It's so lovely, and obviously the colours match with the kit. So I found that a really useful thing to add and sort of use on most of my pages in the album, because yeah, I've had trouble making, whenever I've made mini albums before, making them really cohesive. And I talk about this a little more in my blog post down below, on the Felicity Jane blog. And yeah, it was kind of like a nice way to sort of bring the album together, make the transition from page to page like a little bit easier, like whether you subconsciously or consciously know that you know, like you notice the scallops, but yeah, they're really pretty, I think. So this is a Halloween album, but obviously this Felicity Jane kit isn't Halloween, so the colours, you know, I think when I think of Halloween I think of like orange, and there is a slight, you know, there's bits of orange in this kit, but then I think of like green and purple and black and that kind of colour scheme, and the kit doesn't really have those, but I'm okay with that. I think this is Halloweeny without being too Halloweeny, in a sense that it's kind of it's you know, I kept it kind of, I didn't go over the top with it, so it's just like, you know, Halloween explosion. Yeah, so it's really simple. Yeah, I didn't overcomplicate each page, and this page is one of my favourites purely because I look like a right nutter in that photo, and I'm kind of leaning to the side, so I thought it'd be really fun to put the photo in the pocket and have it peeking out, so it looks like I'm peeking out the pocket, and the title of that page is Peekaboo. So I made myself laugh. I'm a crazy kid. Yeah, so each page I tried to use a different colour scheme, because it's just fun. I think, especially when it's like the first thing, this is the first thing I made with this kit, and it was just fun just to sort of use every single bit of paper and embellishment, and yeah, sort of raid my stash a bit as well, Felicity Jane stuff, and just have a whale of a time with it all. So yeah, the photos I used as well are Halloweeny themed photos, so it's like photos of me on various Halloweens dressing up as various things. So yeah, I printed them all in black and white as well, just because that it kind of works with every colour then. I don't have to worry about matching the papers to the photo or whatever. So yeah, see, I'm using that scallop strip again, and I wanted to make sort of like, you know, put some vellum over the top of that picture, because our sofa in that picture I think was like a very dark burgundy colour. It was disgusting. And yeah, it's quite dark, so the vellum kind of dilutes it a bit, I think. And then I decided to I stitched along the scallop border. That's another thing actually I did to make the album feel a bit more cohesive, is that I stitched on most pages. It just adds a nice bit of detail. Sorry about my pineapple head there. And yeah, I just love the way stitching looks, to be honest. So I used Stays on ink there to stamp on the vellum, just because I was a bit worried about using sort of normal, is it pigment or dye ink I usually use? I don't know. What does that say? Pigment ink. Yeah, I was a bit worried about it smudging, so I stamped it with Stays on, and I don't really like stamping with Stays on. Like, one, Stays on smells really weird, I think. Two, it stains my stamps. Even when I clean them straight away, it's just really annoying, and I like my stamps looking like kind of a little bit more pristine. And yeah, Stays on does just stay on. Who knew? So yeah, I do like Stays on ink pad, like the sort of what is it? Like the building of it. Like the foam pad with which holds the ink is like really like sturdy, and I like that because it's easy to kind of stamp, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I decided to get a bit experimental with my sewing machine. I played around with the settings. Usually I just do a straight stitch or a zigzag stitch, and my sewing machine had a setting where you could do like a little scallop border, so I decided to go with that. Had a bit of a mishap with it on the other side of that paper, where the thread unthreaded, and so it's just a load of scallopy holes, but I think it kind of worked. Also sticking some enamel dots we got in the kit, which is very exciting, because I I don't know how to use enamel dots. That sounds genuinely stupid, but I never really properly had them, and they just kind of freak me out a bit. That sounds really silly. Yeah, they do just kind of freak me out, just because I just don't know what to do with them, and I just feel like they just stand out loads on the page, and that kind of ends up all I can see. But I decided to be brave and use the enamel dots. I know. So this page here I kept really simple, but you'll see in the flip through that what I added to the page eventually. I just felt like it needed something a little extra, so yeah, I'll leave that for keep you in suspense. So yes, talking of the flip through, I decided to add put up a separate video of the flip through, because I realised that people probably might not want to watch a 35-minute video of me putting together this mini album, so I thought I'd just have the flip through in a different video. That way, I mean, you can watch both if you want, or if you just want to see the album in its entirety, you can just watch that, or stick around and watch this. Yes, so what am I doing? Oh, stamping. I needed like a tab to add on to the other side of the tab, because it just didn't look right with the white backing of that tab. So yeah, I think I got the Maggie stamp set and just put wow, because it's kind of sarcastic. This picture of me apple bobbing when I was little, and yeah, gone a bit crazy. So on that page I decided to make it kind of food themed. So in the little card thing I put a cupcake recipe, or a Halloween cupcake recipe, and I would have put a photo of my Halloween cupcakes in there, but I can't find one. I haven't filmed the flip through yet. I might look through my Project Life album and just steal the photo from there and put it in the album. We shall see. So this page is probably one of my favourites. Yeah, it's a little bit naughty in the sense that it's a bit rude. It's only rude if you change one of the letters in the title. So, yes. I cut out this photo of me when I was little and I looked like a grumpy and dressed as a princess, but I decided to put one of those little witches' hats on top of my head, and yeah, the title of it is Bow Down Witches, which, I don't know, it just made me laugh. And especially because I look so like sort of grumpy and like sort of evil, kind of, not really. I'm wearing a Little Mermaid necklace, like I don't look that evil, but yeah. So I debated whether or not to use the background paper that I did, because I really love that paper and I want to hoard it, but it's fine. I've ordered an extra paper pack, and that will come in my next kit. So yes. Oh dear. Yeah, so some pages I ended up not putting, like not using the pockets, but yeah, that's one thing where like the envelopes I think came in handy because I had the option. So yeah, if I didn't want to use a pocket, I just put some double-sided tape at like the top of the pocket, and that just kind of closed it up. So yeah, I'm just trimming off little bits and pieces. This photo is me on Halloween. I think the first 2 pages I used photos from the same day for this. Evie! No. Sorry, cat's being naughty. Yeah, I used photos from like the same Halloween because really made me laugh, because I distinctly remember this Halloween because we had a Halloween themed party at my house, and we all came dressed as witches, and everyone came as like evil witches, so they had like, you know, like the long crooked warty nose and pointy hats and capes and everything, and I was obsessed with the worst witch. If you're British and watched TV and you're a similar age to me, I'm 23, you will probably know the worst witch, how brilliant it was, and I was obsessed with it, and I dressed up as Mildred Hubble. And my friends were really annoyed at me because they were like, no, be an evil witch. I was like, no, I'm Mildred Hubble. Oh, honestly. So yeah, moving on. To make labels is super easy, I found. Who knew? I got a sort of single hole punch, punched a hole into a little piece of paper, and then I think that little pink punch, circle punch, is 0.6 inches across, and then just punched round the hole punch, and then you got a little like tab label, ring reinforcer, what they call, I don't know, you know what I mean, and then it looks like a label. So yeah, obviously that label isn't long enough to fit in the pocket, so I just attached some white cardstock to the end of it, and yeah, I'm not too fussed about that it's not all that same dotty yellow pattern, because you can't really see it. And then yeah. Oh, so yeah, that little wood veneer heart circle thing that we got in the kit, I really wanted to use it, but it just was blending too much into the background, so I got a 1-inch circle punch and stamped "You Got This" on this, which was from the stamp set, and then backed it onto the wood veneer piece, and it just made it pop, and it worked really well. I was really pleased with that. Because anything that's like circle I think is hard, like I find quite hard to use. But that was just a really great way of using it. So this paper I've slightly cheated, sort of. I'm using my paper from the Felicity kit, which had all these lovely stars, and then it was like that lovely sort of crosshatch pink on one side. But I think the Felicity kit is sold out, and as is the paper add-on. But Gina is now offering a like FJ Basics pack or Essentials pack. I can't remember. I think it's called Essentials. But yeah, so it's just a paper pack that has some papers in it, 3 or 4 papers, and they all have sort of Felicity Jane essential black and white prints, and that star print is one of them. So yeah, it's gorgeous. This page is super embarrassing as well. These are obviously more recent photos, and this page is kind of what I'm like, films and TV I'm going to be watching this Halloween season, I guess. So I just printed on some vellum in a typewriter front a few films and things that I want to watch, and yeah, creating a little flippy up thing. Yeah, so that photo, let's talk about that photo. As you can see, that is Edward Cullen from Twilight, and I can't believe I'm putting this on the internet, but yes, this was in my Twilight phase. I was 14 or 15, okay, and I wasn't the only one who had kissed that board. You can see on his forehead he has like a lipstick mark on him, and yeah, that was just in the cinema, and it's super embarrassing. My friend and I both stood there and just took photos with pretending to kiss Edward Cullen. Yeah. Oh, Catherine, if you're watching this, I bet you're glad that I didn't put the photos of you kissing Edward Cullen in there and your t-shirt. But yes. So yeah, this is kind of like all stuff that I kind of dressed for Halloween, and it was like, actually no, the photo on the left is from a Halloween. That's not a real cigarette, by the way. That is from a Halloween party, and I went as a 1920s flapper. Is that what they're called? So yeah, I love that photo. It's kind of, it looks very old Hollywood of me, although that's kind of like the 40s, that era. But anyway, you get me. Yeah, and that's a prop cigarette. It's not a real cigarette. Don't worry. And then the other one, the middle picture, is a Snapchat filter. And if you've ever watched The 100 and have watched up to episode, I think it's 307, season 3, episode 7, you will know how devastating that filter is now. Oh, Alexa. So yeah, let's just not go into that. It's too sad. So I had some puffy stickers left over from my Happy Day kit by Sue's Fish, and I absolutely love them, and I've been hoarding them, and I just decided to whip them out for this. It had some stars on it, so kind of went perfectly. I also used my Maggie silicone charms as well on some of these pages. That they are still in the shop, so I definitely grab some of those. Oh, look at my hair, that's lovely. They just add a really nice touch. Yeah, just add a different texture and dimension, which I love. So yeah, I stamped, well, that's new, onto a label there, put that at the bottom of the photo. It's a bit sucky, but yeah. Oh god, that photo is so embarrassing. So funny, but so embarrassing. My hair looks good in it though, so. Yeah, so I created a little flip pocket thing there, which was super easy to do. I just folded a piece of paper and then sealed it into the middle of the envelope, and then yeah, that's another way to use the envelope pocket, I guess. So here again, I'm using that black and white floral paper, which is from the FJ Basics Essentials, whatever it's called, pack, and that's a floral from the Maggie kit, and it's really lovely because it's just like a really faint, faint lined floral, thin lined floral. I don't know. It's just really, really pretty. Yeah, so the Felicity Jane Basics pack really stretches your kit as well, so I definitely recommend picking that up if you're getting a kit. And then again, I had some thickers left over from the Sue's Fish Happy Day kit, and I couldn't believe I could spell all of that. So it says trick and treat yourself, which is kind of, I found on Pinterest, and it's kind of a Parks and Parks and reference, Parks and Rec reference. Oh gosh, getting all tongue tied. And yeah, it's I think out of all the pages in the kit, if I'm being really self-critical, this one's kind of like my least favourite double page spread, only because I don't know, it's just a lot busier for me than I'm usually like, but that doesn't mean I still don't like it, that just means I'm being really hyperly self-critical. Yeah, so I should explain this photo as well, because I don't know. You're gonna think I'm even more weirder than I am. Well, no, I am pretty weird. Anyway, so that photo is from a couple of years ago now, which I can't believe it was like yesterday. But that is me holding, basically, I'm dressed up as Darla from Finding Nemo. And if you don't know who that is, it's the girl who's like, fishy, wake up! And, you know, has a head brace and carries the fish in a bag. So that's what I was for Halloween. We're going to a party and the theme was villains. So, yeah, yeah. I was pretty proud of that idea, to be honest. And it's a super easy Halloween costume idea. If you're stuck for ideas, just wear a purple shirt and a tartan skirt and socks, knee-high socks, and put your hair in bunches and get a sandwich bag and draw a dead clownfish on the bag, and then what did I use as a head brace? I think I used this wire from like a candle holder thing. Oh, and then added some freckles on my face, and I was done. I was pretty proud of that costume, I have to say. So I'm just stamping and adding the date, wrestling with my stapler that forgets how to staple halfway through stapling, and just adding a load of the cut parts from the sticker sheet and some of the die cut labels, and yeah. Also, as you can see on the side with the picture, I created a little notch so I could slip a label in and then you could easily sort of pull the label out, and I just did that using a 1-inch circle punch, yeah, or half a 1-inch circle punch. So yeah, the back page as well. I hadn't used the second hat that I'd stitched, and I really wanted to use it because I stitched it and I spent time stitching it, so I was like, nope, it must be used. So doesn't look like I've got paper on there. I have got paper on there. I've got the grey paper that I used at the beginning, and I just put the hat on that, and then I didn't know what to put on the bottom. I was going to put like Happy Haunting or Happy Halloween or something like that. And then I was just playing around with all the stickers, adding that little wood veneer heart into the middle. In the cut file it had a heart cut out, but yeah, I just added one of the little wood veneer hearts, which I love, they're so beautiful. Really lovely coloured wood as well. And yeah, just adding some of that really lovely, like dusky, charcoaly floral paper. So yeah, that's beautiful. So yeah, we're kind of nearing the end here now. I hope you don't mind the separate flip through video. I just know some people wouldn't have wanted to commit to a 35-minute process video. I honestly had 6 hours of footage. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So yeah, I'll leave a link to the flip through in the next screen and below and all of that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the flip through. I should say I shall see you on the flip side. Yep, I'm hilarious.